What's up? Good afternoon, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this really does not work. This is going to be kind of crazy when I go through this. This is going to be insane, and the reason why the Dallas Cowboys have literally wasted time, money, and effort on the number 2 wide receiver position. Okay? Hear me out here. The Dallas Cowboys brought in Amari Cooper because we had a problem of wide receiver. At the time, we had like Cole Beasley and Terrence Williams and things like that. Michael Gallup, who was a rookie, and it was just a bunch of guys. We brought in Amari Cooper in that season, which was shortened. He had 725 yards, turned this roster around, okay? We went from a 3-5 season to a 10-6, winning our division and making the playoffs. The next year, he had 1,189 yards, 8 TDs. The next year, 1,114 yards, 5 TDs. The next year, 865 yards as our number 1 wide receiver. Since that time, the Cowboys said, $21 million. Bro, that's too much money right there. No, it's too much money. They've tried to fill in the number 2 role at wide receiver for the last 3 years. They first tried by letting go Cedric Wilson and Amari Cooper, getting a 5th-round pick back. They did a 5-year, $62 million deal with Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup only worked 2 years of that deal and got about $32 million, some of which we're still paying this year. We're paying $9 million this year on the Michael Gallup debacle. Let me say that again. There's no other way to put it. The debacle, okay? We got rid of Amari Cooper, and we decided that we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and sign Michael Gallup, and he's going to be like our number 2 wide receiver to go with CeeDee Lamb. And that blew up in our face. So literally, $8.7 million of dead money this year. We're still paying for our number 2 wide receiver. And Michael Gallup, those 2 years, it wasn't good, bro. It wasn't good. Noah Brown that year actually ended up getting more yards than Michael Gallup, who you just paid a boatload of money. You ended up getting, with Noah Brown, 555 yards as your number 2 wide receiver. They decided we're going to do a stopgap, and I forgot about James Washington. We also brought in James Washington, the unicorn, and figured, well, he's done some things in the NFL. We can plug him in with Dak, and he's going to be fine for our number 2. Nope. Didn't happen. Didn't work out. He got 1 pass, which was an incompletion for the season. We then decided, let's go ahead and get Brandon Cooks. Okay? That's a veteran, and pretty much everywhere he went in his career, he was like a 1,000-yard receiver. But an aging guy who is over the hill. And we paid over 2 seasons $19 million. $19 million. And right now, we're paying another $4 million dead. $4 million dead money. So that's $24 million. So 30 and 24 million right there. Now, let's go a little deeper. We took a 3rd-round draft pick for Jalen Tolbert, thinking, and remember when we let go Amari Cooper, we heard Jerry Jones literally say, that Jalen Tolbert's going to be fantastic. In the same way he said that Ryan Fenoy, I can't wait to see him get that first catch from Dak Prescott. He's got Des Bryant in him. So we spent a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Tolbert. All right, so let's see if we got the total so far. The running total. We've got $30 million for Michael Gallup. We've got $24 million for Brandon Cooks. That's $54 million, okay? You got a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Tolbert plus his money, right? And we then traded last year a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo. So let me see if I got this straight. Let me see. What is Jonathan Mingo? I don't even know how much Jonathan Mingo's getting paid. It's probably chump change. I can't even find it. It's so deep on here. Oh, Jonathan Mingo, $1.5 million. Okay, so you can add that to the $54 million plus Jalen Tolbert's will be dirt cheap too. Be that as it may, in the 3 years, think about this. In the 3 years that we've been trying to replace Amari Cooper, who was $21 million, $21 million in his production, he basically averaged out to about 1,000 yards a season in his 3 years, or 4 years, 3.5 years. Okay? We spent a 4th round, a 3rd round, and $60+ million. Production-wise, we got 1,822 yards and 18 TDs. So for the Cowboys, if we go ahead and do the same thing that we continue to do, let's just get a cheap option. Let's get a cheap option. Do you think that's going to win a Super Bowl? And here's the part that's even worse about it. The cheap options cost you as much as Amari Cooper being here and draft picks. It literally cost you more money getting rid of Amari Cooper. Oh, I didn't even count the dead money for Amari Cooper. Hell, I forgot about the dead. It actually cost you more money. I forgot about the dead hit. We paid more in dead money. I think it was $9 million. I think it was $9 million that we had in dead money. I'll have to look that up. Dead money when Cooper left to go to Cleveland, because the cap hit for Cleveland was less than what we paid for him not to be here. It was only $5 million for them. So you can see how this mistake of going cheap has hurt them. And so as we look at this and say, we can actually say it cost them in the tune of somewhere about $70 million for 3 years. That's not a stretch. The dead money for getting rid of him, paying Michael Gallup, paying Brandon Cooks, trading for Jonathan Mingo, drafting Jalen Tolbert, paying Noah Brown. Bro, it's a $70 million mistake of letting him go. Now, I don't know that he's the same guy that we had before, but, bro, you got to do something different. All righty, good people. I think if you're asking me, and nobody's asking me, I think you have to do kind of what the Eagles did. You can't just say anybody's going to work. you're going to need to go out there and get somebody legitimate. And it may cost you some money. So at first, I was sitting here thinking about damn. Can't think of his name. He's in Chicago right now. Who's a $24 million cap hit and saying, man, that's too expensive. But in the grand scheme of things, you're already spending that kind of money. Who am I thinking about with Chicago? Oh, my goodness. I can't remember, man. My memory stinks. But the Chicago Bears wide receiver, he's $24 million for this year. Hang on, let me get it. Hold up. Let's see. DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a $24 million. Now, he signed a $110 million contract last year. And his cap number for this year is 24.9. Now, if he's traded pre-June 1st, they take a $16 million dead hit this year, in which case they'd save about $9 million. Now, the guaranteed money, I believe the guaranteed money stays with them, but I don't know how the numbers would work out. But at the moment, you have to look at this and say, $24 million for DJ Moore or $30 million for Tyreek Hill versus 3 years into 70, you got about $24 million a year that you've basically been paying, trying to get a number two who hasn't done jack. Keeping it real, people. Keeping it real. All right.